Welcome to JasonWhiskyWise, myself Jason, bringing you today my new whiskey review. Today we will be reviewing the Aultmore 18-year-old, which I picked myself up a dram from Drinks by the Dram. So we're going to pour this one out. Now if you haven't seen my Aultmore reviews, I've actually reviewed the 12, the 21 and the 25, which I'll leave linked just over here. And the other ones will also follow in succession just in the top corner. So if you want to go and check them out, feel free to do so, as this one, the 18, will be completing the whole Aultmore range. And then once we've done that, we've done everything from Aultmore, which is their own bottlings. So, we got ourselves our dram. Now, I brought out the 12 and the 21 because I want to do a comparative. The 12, the 18, and the 21, and see which one I prefer after doing all three in sort of a vertical tasting. So, this was actually requested by Welsh Toro, one of my subscribers here. So Welsh, hopefully you like this review. And at the same time, let me know your thoughts on the Aultmore 18 if you've tried it. And I think you have mentioned you have tried it once or twice. So it'll be interesting to see. So anyway, let's get into beginning my review style structure. I'll quickly cover a little bit about Aultmore if you haven't seen the 12 or the 21. That was back in my first video, I think it was the Aultmore 12. But Aultmore as a distillery you don't see very much of in the market because they mainly used all the whiskey from the Aultmore distillery going into blends. So now the new company that's taken over, Bacardi, they decided we want to bottle some of our own whiskey, and it is quite light, as you can see. It's all naturally coloured, non-chill filtered, and they wanted to keep it that way. And now, because it's normally seen as a backbone for many whiskies, they wanted to show you what the style of that actual distillery is. So, with my review style structure, Aultmore is an 18-year-old expression, bottled at an ABV of 46%. The actual cask selection in this one, I believe, are American white oak casks. As you can even see from the colour here, there is no sherry influence. It is completely very light liquid. Now, the distillery itself is the Aultmore Distillery, which you can see over there. The actual parent company for them are Bacardi, and then they are based in Speyside, Scotland. So actually, I think it's got over here, Foggy Moss over there. Aultmore off the Foggy Moss. So, the actual price point on the 18, which I normally would ping a bottle, actually let's ping a bottle over there, over Mr. Bananas. The price of the 18-year-old is £128 last time I travelled through an airport and saw it. So, it is quite up there in the price points. In terms of the exclusivity, yes, it's travel retail exclusive. But I have been told in Canada and in America, they can pick it up in the domestic shops. So LCBO and certain different boards, you can find it. So I think mainly here in Europe, it's still travel retail exclusive. In terms of caramel colour, it's all natural. So that means we will assess the colour for this whiskey. And let me know your thoughts at home. If you've got one of these, give it a pour. I'm going to go with a bright gold. It's quite light in complexion. So let's begin by assessing the nose. So to begin on the nose for the Aultmore 18, this one starts out quite light, quite gentle. A 46%, not really punchy on the nose. It's quite easygoing, grassy, lots of green characters coming through, green apples, green limes. I say more probably not actual full limes, but lime juice. There is a note of lavender just wavering in the background, accompanied by a slight sweetness like a heathered honey. There's even a little character underneath of sweets. What do you call those sweets? I think they're hard-boiled sweets. They're quite... a little bit of sweetness emerging from them, but at the same time notes of apricots, peaches. A citrus bursts back in there now with tangerines, and it's just rolling all over the character. Actually, I'm even picking up a slight oaty character on this one. Ooh. Let's next move into the palate. Cilantro. Arrival onto the palate now. Starts out almost like a sour green apple, but more like a sweet with a sherbety core inside. As if you're sort of taking a bite out of it, you're getting that green apple-y character, but then it's fizzing on the palate. It's tingling all over. A little burst of white pepper. Adding that little heat, that ABV is now shining through just a little bit, but not too much. And almost like gingerbread biscuits, but with flakes of ginger just sort of put into it to give you that little added warmth. I'm going to have a second sip, but there is a little bit of a slight citrus character. We're going to pinpoint that one exactly. So that citrus character that I was trying to find on the back, it's like freshly cut tangerines, juicy, succulent, full of flavour. a bit of lemongrass accompanying it behind. And as it develops, a little sweetness, like peaches, a nice sweet peach. Wow, this has got lots of flavour. There is a little salty character that's sort of just emerging right at the back of my palate, like a little briny, but it's a very sort of light sort of sea spray, and it's accompanied by a slight drying aspect, like cedar wood, giving a slight oakiness to it. Overall, the texture on the palate, I'd say like a light medium. It's not too intense, it's not viscous, but it's just right. It's nice and light. Let's next move into the finish of this whiskey. So for the finish of the Aultmore 18, initially I was thinking it's like a short medium, but as you leave it there, you let it set on the palate, those mouth-warming spices develop, and it picks up. It ignites, the flavours come back. That salty, briny aspect I saw on the end of the palate, it's now lingering there on the finish, giving a medium full finish. As it's holding still there, green apples are back, but this is like green apple juice. It's like if you have apple juice from a carton. That sort of little bit of juicy, fruity aspect, but at the same time, a little dryness emerges there. Overall, those sort of spices are back there, but that briny note keeps coming back to me. It's almost like a salted apple. Very interesting all in all. So I'm going to give my comment and my rating for this whiskey. And overall, I think I'm going to give it a 91 out of 100. Reason behind that, I think the overall whiskey is a great whiskey. The only thing that I have a sort of a problem with, and that is probably the travel retail exclusivity of it. However, if you see this one, I'm going to do it now with the 21 just in a second, but overall, the flavours are there. It's got that complexity, that little bit of sweetness, the sour note, and also that little bit of that nice fruity aspect that comes through it with the citrus flavours. So overall, I like this one quite a lot. It's light, it's not too heavy on the palate, and for the style, it delivers. It's probably better, in my opinion, than over the 12. And with the 21, I think it's up there within that rating. But I'm going to give that a try next, so I'm going to move into that. So 91 out of 100 for the Aultmore 18-year-old. Next, let's get into the tasting of them all. So let's do a quick vertical with all three of them, and I'm going to try to keep this under a minute or two. We'll start off with the 12 and the vertical tasting. The note of this one seems much more subdued. It's not as intense the first time I actually tasted it, and that's probably because it's oxidized and I've had a bit over the year or so that I've had this bottle, maybe 2 years. Those fruity aspects are still there, that lemon, citrus, a little bit of vanilla coming through. But on the palate of this one, it's got a much more spicier entry. You can tell that youth is there, especially because I just done the 18. So main thing, probably going to move on now to the 18 and 21. We've done the 18, but I'm just going to get the taste on the palate, so it'll benefit when we do the 21 as well. Really good whiskey. Finally, the 21. Now the 21, again, another expression exclusive to travel retail. This has got a bit more of a richer, fruitier, intenser influence to it. Yeah, for me, the 21 just gives me that extra texture. I'm looking for more towards a medium full texture. Much more depth. Those fruity notes are much more rounded, so it's not feeling, I wouldn't say sharp, but it's not feeling as citrusy around the edges, and that vanilla note's coming through very well. All in all, personally, this one edges just slightly over this one, but I have been told this one's gone up in price to around about 200 or 180, so at that price point, I'd probably put that down and I'd say 18 is the way to go. But anyway, hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. By all means, if you have, drop it a like, be sure to hit the subscribe button, and I'll leave some of the other Aultmore videos on the screen, the 12, the 21, and the 25 over there. But hopefully this helps you when you're choosing an Aultmore, if you do get a chance. But on that note,